Welcome to 1 Hour Playtest, where today we're going to be taking our deck into the highest rank of Master Duel, higher than Master 1. We're going to be playing at rating duels. I'll be showing you my deck list and talking about it at the end of the video. Let's just hop right into the duels. We're at 1570 rating right now. Begin. Oh my. Oh my, my, my. We've not done a live duel session on rating duels yet. Top 50%, top 50%. We are going second. In my deck list, I'm playing 15 hand traps and or board breakers. So we should have a really good chance of disrupting and or breaking their field on the next turn. And of those 15, we got our double impermanence. Sure. We are playing Voiceless Voice. I think, oh, Voiceless Mirror Match, ain't no way. Okay. This is going to be difficult without our board breaker. If they get to set up first and our imperm is not good enough, which it likely will not be, because they could have the Sarvis ritual that will negate our impermanence, and then when they negate it, we can't chain another impermanence. Now, if they open up Diviner, that's a different story. They summon Diviner, we could negate, they negate the negate, they then summon low, we then negate the low. So this is it. Let's see if the imperm goes through. Negate that low, we very much need this negated. Now by negating low, very nice. You can't use her for a single tribute of the ritual summon. That's her effect that we're now negating. Using exactly this monster for the full tribute cost. Boy, did we disrupt her. Okay, do we have, ooh, we have Trias to help dodge a negate on our low. You obviously cannot ash this since we're setting a card into our back row. So the main way to stop this is through a targeting negate, Veiler or impermanence. Nothing. All right, we had the imperm. He did not have imperm. We had Trias to dodge the imperm. Let's hop on the next one. Sometimes a top-rated duel is over just that quickly. I mean, everyone knows when they lose quick enough. All right, let's keep on going. I was not expecting a mirror match that early. In the rating duels, there are a lot of Duel. Hopefully, I should be playing at least one of them within this 1 hour play test. Oh, and I forgot to start my timer. Oh my Jesus. Oh boy. Top 5%. We're going second again, which is an inherent disadvantage. Yup. Top 5. Oh my. What is a top 5% player playing? We'll see. You have Max C and Ghost Ogre. I'm going to wait on the Max C. Maybe they'll finger the Ogre, then I'll chain Max C. Try Tridea. Okay, so how this works is we're going to Ghost Ogre it because it reads that it needs to place this card and one Centurion into your back row. The and indicates that both have to happen at the same time. So if this gets popped, it doesn't get sent in the back row, then the Ghost Ogre is good. And if he Call by the Graves the Ghost Ogre, I could chain my impermanence. And, whoop, we're good. All right. Okay, sure, nothing. Well, that worked out. I don't think we're gonna have to waste our Max C. Ending the turn. See, a well-placed negate or disruption. I am playing Ghost Ogre instead of Veiler. Could be enough to just win it all. Now, I have a dead hand. We have to draw on something good here. Please, come to me. Saphira. This makes our hand live. This is great. Unless we get Ash Blossomed. So let's see. Oh, Ash. Ooh, you got me. Okay. All right. Yeah. Not chaining Max C to that. So that Ash would have been negating our Max C. So we just end our turn like this. That's it. We go back and forth. The hand trap wars. Now, Centurion's likely playing a heavy amount of Bestials. So same thing. We're going to hold on to our Max C. We're going to Ghost Ogre or Imperm. Wow. Ending the turn. There's got to be some Bestials in that hand, possibly. They're just waiting. That's what I would be thinking. Radiance can return the Sarvis back in the deck for a disruption. And now we're going to have to set our impermanence. Okay. Now the Radiance is only activatable within the main phase. And what we want to summon off of it is going to be this one. Let's wait. Main phase only. We're going to summon the non-ritual version at the end of the main phase. I think I am going to... I'm going to make the play. because it's activatable on both turns. We're going to do it right here, right now. And instead of disruption, I'm going to go for a low. And if he was actually going to battle phase to evenly match us, then boy, are we about to get clapped up by that. We're gonna eat it. We'll eat it, and it will hurt big time. So this is a huge risk, potentially, on this open field turn 5, all these opportunities to draw into an evenly. We play 3 barrier. I think we'll leave the radiance up. Yeah, evenly. Up. What you got? Oh, let's go. I know you're thinking these duels are anticlimactic, but, you know, just a hand trap here, hand trap, you know, back and forth, just super optimized, nice and simple. That's really just what top level play is, if you just know everything else that's going on. All right, let's keep on going. 1587. So top 5% playing a Centurion deck. That's quite interesting. Let's see if I'm going first. Oh my gosh, second. We keep on going second. So if you want to see Centurion yourself on the website, let's type in Centurion, just like that. Here's a good breakdown of how the deck's played. But if I do tournaments only, or you could check out the tournaments here, let's see what a tournament version looks like. Well, we only have one recent tournament top, but it looks like this. So that's pretty good. Now, what do we want to do here? Do we want to Ghost Ogre the Dark Beckoning, or do we want to Ash? You definitely do not want to Ogre. That'll make the Spirit Gates live. If we Ash, he then normal summons the D-Lotus afterward. That's not good. He is super poly, and we have a play. So this is looking good. Spirit Gates, sure. Spirit Gates, I'm not going to negate that. That'd be foolish. We wait in. Now we're going to see if there's a D-Lotus. D-Lotus is here. That's going to be our Ash Blossom play. Definitely. Ash negate. Yes? What are you waiting for? I mean, he has to know that I have Ash, because here's the problem. Through legally cheating, he knows I do not have something activatable on the summon the D-Lotus, but I had something activatable on the activation of the Dark Beckoning, which tells him that I have an Ash Blossom. It just tells him, straight up tells him. So now I have to think if I want to Ghost Ogre. The Unchained Soul, he's going to be discarding with the Spirit Gates to reborn the D-Lotus. So he's trying to eat my Ash right now. And what he could be doing is trying to make an Apollo USA to negate my Ash Blossom. And I feel like I should just let him do that, because the Ghost Ogre actually stops an Apollo USA from negating. As long as he doesn't make a Masquerena to make the Apollo with. Let's see. Discard. I'm not going to Ogre that. Maybe I should, actually. We'll just hold on to the Ash. This might be better. Yeah, I think this is a good Ogre. We should definitely Ogre that. I mean, this tells you how good Ogre is, right? I'm conflicted on what to Ogre because there's many other good uses for Ogre. All right. Now, someone may be thinking, why didn't I Ogre on the activation of the Spirit Gates? You cannot. It has to be already face up on the field in order to activate. Destroying the Yama, sure. And boy, a single Ghost Ogre, and we had a pretty good turn, huh? Okay, so he may have Ash. He may have a way to negate the low. I'm going to see what he does in response to our Saphira. Ash. On Saphira, sure. Low is full combo. Low is full combo. And we have Trias to negate and impermanence. So this is it. Do you have a way to stop my low? Is low? Oh, low is going through. Good, great. Set up the barrier. And what we could do is we don't want to do any of that. We're going to barrier the voiceless. Escape of the Unchained, wiping out the barrier. Yup, that works. That definitely works. So this was our only play here. We didn't play into something bad or some nonsense. That could trigger the Yama to reborn the D-Lotus. But the D-Lotus is 0-0. So he didn't even trigger the Yama. He held on to it. So with the low on the field, we're going to be setting our Super Poly. That will be definitely good. And I guess I can get a Dark Monster out to fuse with his, more likely, since a Light is not going to work well with the Dark. So let's summon our Link Kuriboh. And the question is, should I check for a Spirit of Yubel? Should I attack into a Spirit of Yubel, being special summon for the hand? That could be a pretty bad idea from us. I guess what he would want to do is he would just return it back in the deck, summon his Phantom of Yubel. Is there any way I'm tricking him by checking for it? I don't think we need to make a Secure Gardener here to stop damage from a Nightmare Pain. We're going to just set the Super Poly, and I think we're just ending. Yeah, we're not going to 300 wake up a Spirit of Yubel. No, thank you. Let's see what he's got. Gabash Blossom still for a D-Lotus. Normal summon Max C to kill Link Kuriboh. Nope. Typhon, Almirage. Almirage. What's this dude doing? What was that? Okay, he's gonna grab back his monster after it gets destroyed, but like, why do I care? I could just Ash Blossom, right? I mean, he's gonna grab it back because this says when this card, when a normal monster is, no, this one, tribute, when a normal monster is destroyed while this card's in the, wait, this doesn't even do anything. Well, what am I thinking? This is only, it adds back. He's triggering Yama off of this. That's what I mean. He's triggering Yama. And when he triggers the Yama to summon the D-Lotus, I guess we just Ash it. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got confused for a second, thinking Almirage adds a monster back. It's not that good. Trigger the Yama, summon D-Lotus, Ash it in main phase 2. Otherwise, we could have Super Poly to stop this from happening, but I think holding on to Super Poly is going to be better. Hold it, hold it, hold it. If you call by the Graves, we have Super Poly for the Yubel. Let's negate. That was quite the interesting play. Make an Almirage to destroy ourselves. I've made an Almirage play with Snake Eye Fire King, trigger the Garunix in hand or engrave, but wow, triggering a Yama like that, that's a new one for me. Okay, sure. I guess we're going basic, super basic. Secure Gardener is here. Should we get Pokken with Secure Gardener? 1,000. I guess he's going to probably, we got to keep the Super Poly for Disruption and the Imperm. So it could seem like a good idea to set Imperm in the same Imperm column, but if we are on the defensive, it's not good. It's good when you're on the offense, because if he Imperms our Imperm when we're Imperming their monster, our Imperm's now negated. So really bad idea. And of course you should attack first, because now we would get evenly, but I don't think so. But we were talking about Imperm. Okay. Sure, sure, sure. All right, let's go. Let's go. And you see that back row card is activatable. So it does tell me it's very likely an impermanence. Because we bring up the website on the Yubel page, a back row card that's activatable could be Call by the Grave, but they would have used it on the Ash. It could be Crossout Designator, but they would have used it on Ash. It's got to be Imperm. It's got to be Imperm. So we got to be ready for the Imperm, and we are with the Trias. Trias is ready. Keep looking at the Secure, Psychic, we can get poppin'. I think I should start poking them down with Secure Gardener, honestly. We're going to beatdown mode. We got the Imperm, so let's go, let's go. We can lean on it. We don't need to do some weird Super Poly play. Let's just get poking for 1K. Normal beat. Definitely is Imperm. Definitely Imperm. He could have drawn into a Called By, so this new card is a mystery. And we have low in the graveyard, so if she were to trigger into a Call by the Grave, that would be unfortunate. What you got? Ooh, nothing. Nothing. This is going quite crazy. We got Saphira and Trias. That is a play. Let's go. Saphira is going to only be activatable if we... Oop, yup, what I talk about. We talked about that finger being a reality, and it is here. Sure, sure, sure. Yup. So Imperm and Called By. Saphira vanished. That sucks. And let's keep on going. Let's keep on poking. We have 6 more turns of this. Spirit of Yubel finally being summoned. Sure. Okay. Spirit of Yubel grabbing the Nightmare Pain. And then we'll Ghost Ogre the Nightmare Pain. And then I think we go from there. Right? Now the fear is setting up a Spirit Gate, a second or third copy to grab it back. So I don't think we if I imperm swing, it will summon a Yubel from the deck. That could be something we maybe want to do. And then hold on to the Ghost Ogre for later, possibly. Or I'm just gonna let it. Just let it. I'm letting it. We're in a simplified game state, so I'm trying to be really careful about every little play. And I feel like we have to keep on attacking with the Gardener. So it is unfortunate that he did get the Spirit of Yubel out. But if he's majority are playing more than one Nightmare Pain, get rid of the first one, and there's a second one we have to get rid of. You still got Super Poly to fuse with the field if we want to. Sure. So can't activate it on the flip, but on the activation is when we Ghost Ogre it. We know that's an impermanence. And let's Ogre. So unless he drew into a Call by the Grave, this will go through. And it's good. If he activates a Spirit Gates, I'm going to have to Super Poly. Because I can't let him grab it back. Oh my freaking Jesus. Oh my gosh. Wait for the resolution, because it has to search. Okay. If I Super Poly... Does he have the Chaos Beast yet? He has Chaos. He can de-Lotus back on the field by discarding. I can't even Super Poly early. He just can't Nightmare Pain again. Okay. Search. Sure. Other Spirit Gates. Yup. Okay. Alright. 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 Focus. Focus. What? Huh? Spirit Gates? Did he forget to activate Spirit Gates? I don't understand. What? Nightmare Pain, Spirit Gates. You've control level 10, and the Spirit of Yubel is level 10. What the heck? Okay. Sure. Phantom of Yubel. Yeah, I don't think Super Poly on the Spirit Elf, Sprite Elf, that is a good one. The Phantom of Yubel is a monster negate. This is a Reborn the Dark Beckoning, sure. If we can get the Phantom of Yubel to negate something, we then will have a field to Super Poly. That'll be something. What you got? End of the main phase, Reflect. Okay, 400. Nothing. We're good. We're good. All right, so now he has a monster negate. But we have Impermon to the monster negate, which we can't use because of the Sprite Elf. Okay. De-Lotus. Sure. I'm so confused. What is this mad lad doing? Yama's already been used. We got another Yama. Masquerina. Sure. So I do play the Earth Golem that could fuse with the Masquerina and the Sprite Elf. So we do want to be quick on that. I could imperm the Phantom of Yubel after I Super Poly them. But it would be nice if I had something more than an Ash Blossom to make that play with. Oh my gosh. He does have imperm. I guess I'm passing. I don't know what to say. Does he have another level 2? He's the Dark Beckoning to Reborn back onto the field. He's going to be able to make an Apollo USA. He leaves up a Cyburst. I could fuse with it with the Super Poly. If I make a play now, if I Super Poly Imperm Phantom of Yubel, I could get swinging. And I feel like we just have to do it. We freaking have to do it. Oh my Jesus. Let's fuse these two. He could not chain or activate the Sprite Elf. It wasn't that he forgot. He can't use it. Couldn't use it before my Super Poly either. And we just swing in. Now, what I could summon is a Typhon on top of this. I don't think that'd be a good idea. Let's take this out. Battle step. Let's impermit. So it is destroyable by battle. Yup. And let's get him. 4,600 damage. Oh my Jesus. All right. Typhon. No Typhon. Just the Spirit Gates is just so ridiculous. And I can't believe he didn't recycle his Nightmare Pain. Huge mistake on his end. Hopefully he goes for a D-Lotus. Oh my gosh, he did. And he has Imper. What is he doing? Did he just lose? Huh? You couldn't even make a Phantom of Yubel? Oh my gosh, that duel was just horrendous. I think for both of us. I don't think I really played well in that one. I'm trying to think, did I play well? I'm second guessing myself. I think I was playing extremely well, but then I was in the mindset we had to keep on poking with our Cyberse link, and then we played into a Spirit of Yubel. But maybe we should have not attacked, even though I'm telling myself maybe it was still okay to attack. I don't know why he didn't grab back, but, well, what can I say? This is the highest rank of Master Duel. Let's keep on going. All right. Sure. Top 50%. Someone was 1,600 and they were top 5%. I think they were like 1,605. So I think 2 more wins, if we stay undefeated, we will then be top 5% global. Sure. Okay, we got Ghost Ogre. Got our low play. We got pre-prep. We could grab a Sarvis to negate. Ghost Ogre can stop the Scream from milling. Grief. Generally, they put Scream on the higher chain link. So this does have to have a tier limit on the field to activate. Cannot activate at the moment. If we pop it, though, it gets to search for a trap. And he's already resolving a fusion. So I feel like this is not good. I'm just not going to Ghost Ogre. Stopping a mill 3 so he could search his deck for any trap. And he milled Sully to search for a monster, and he's going to draw 1. So search monster +1 instead of searching for a trap, which will be immensely disruptive on our turn. Obvious. Now, this is where we wish the Ghost Ogre were an Effect Veiler instead. But based off of the meta, being I played a lot of Voiceless Mirror matches, and Centurion even, and also Yubel, I think Ghost Ogre is better. But here, Veiler on the Kick Kalos. If you don't want to craft the Ghost Ogre, that's fine. I'm not telling you to play this. This is just how I'm playing the deck. And generally, when I'm playing a deck, I could also just be testing something out, which I kind of am doing that with the Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre could be used against SP Lil Knight. That's a good benefit. They activate the effect to banish itself plus another card in the field. You just pop it. All right, Tier Link Cash Tira. I feel like we're definitely going to lose this. I may have to dig with the Pot of P for our Super Poly. That's going to be important. I should just toggle off with the Ogre. This is no good. I feel like we should just get Kick Cal off the field at least. When else am I going to even want to use the Ogre? If he flips up Sulliek and does not activate it on flip, we could then Ogre it. I guess we're going to have to keep this for the Sulliek. Yeah. If he has a way to grab it back. Or popping the Scream on our own turn might be a good idea. Because he is fusion capped on his own turn for only 2 fusion summons. Yep, send. This is a big mill. Big mill. Mill 5, mill 3. All the Ghost Ogre would have done was stop mill 3. He still would have milled 5 with the kick count because it'd be sent to the grave. So we would have stopped. The top 3 cards would have not been in the grave. The Maxi, the Fenrir, and the Super Poly. And then there also wouldn't be a tier limit cash tier on the field. So I don't think that would have been worth it for us. This is fine. So far, the option... Ooh, A Reborn. Reborn. Ghost Ogre actually works against Time Thief Redoer. So if he were to Time Thief Redoer, that would be good for us, because it detaches on resolution, not by a cost. YOLO draw 2. He still has his normal summon. Rhino. Discard Heartbeat. Heartbeat's gonna be what we were talking about, adding back the Sulliek, which the Ghost Ogre is gonna be good for. Sure, sure. Had the Scream gone to the graveyard, you would be dealing with a Crime. Crime would be able to negate anything, spin it back in the deck. This is the Monster negate. This is flip a monster face down and also trigger a fusion. Reinforcement, Rhino. Didn't he already activate the Rhino though? Rhino super activated. Okay, this is where he could set up the Time Thief Redoer if he gets another level 4 in the fields. He's got Mudora in the grave. That is a nuisance. That is a Baron to floor. So the Ghost Ogre would have stopped Mill 3 and the Summon of Baron to floor. Now, Baron to floor did trade with the Ash Blossom. Pop and Sharon. I can force out the negate here. He probably will want to negate it. And then we don't have to deal with the negate on our own turn. So I got to take this. So think of this Ogre as Ash Blossom and Baron to floor. So that worked out. Now, the Baron to floor could return back to the extra deck during the standby phase to reborn from the graveyard something like a Rhino Hearts. That would be something. He's gonna likely be summoning a Rukalos right now. Rucal will be a special summon negate. Wait, Kaleido. Kaleido. Okay. Kaleido Heart instead of Rucal. That is interesting. We know he has Sulliek. So if I could set up a way where we cannot be targeted because of the barrier, then he cannot use Sulliek on us. And the Baron to floor is no good. Now, what I would say he should probably do is Baron to floor, return back, summon the Rhino if he still has one in the grave. And then send from the deck, trigger a fusion. Summon Kit Cal, send from the deck, trigger another fusion, and then make a Rukalos. So this should be a Rukalos right now. So he should have a special summon negate, plus mill 3, and a monster negate. He should have double disruption here, and if he mills a Fairy Tale Snow, that could be a problem. Now, is our Ash Blossom something we should save for a potential Maxi in his hand? Or him milling into a Fairy Tale Snow would be a massive problem. I think we use the Ash Blossom for the Kit Cal to stop him from going into Rukalos. If he randomly mills a fusion trigger here, then it is, nope, we're fine. Okay, Seamare, send Hovness, summon Kit Cal, activate Kit Cal, Ash Blossom the Kit Cal, and then we just have to deal with Sulliek and nothing else. Okay, sure. Now, how do we get a low on the field and use, I should say, Ritual at the same time? Ritual and low. We could just grab the card to negate the Sarvis. So we're going to negate Kit Cal here from going into a Rucal. And then we'll grab Sarvis with the pre-prep. Pre-prep Sarvis. Kaleido can't be fused with, because that's the first thing it says. And ideally, I would be able to super poly this, dig for it with my Pot of Pea. So let's check his hand trap here. We know he has a targeting negate. And we are good. So we are going to grab our Sarvis to stop the Sulliek. So you target us, we negate. Yup. And let's see what he has in his hand. Let's activate low. Low come forth. Sulliek. Try to Sulliek. Already used Scream. Okay, we're good. So we could grab off of this a Radiance or a Blessing. Now, Blessing, I think, is going to be more ideal potentially because we could summon a Sarvis off of it, and it could stop Xyz summoning or Link summoning, but not the Fusion summoning. The Radiance could get the other Sarvis onto the field for more battle damage. The Kaleido Sense the Grave by battle is not going to be activatable. And then the Sarvis will be summonable anyway through our Skull. So I'm going to go for a Blessing here. And then Barrier is going to be going for the good stuff. Selic, we're going to negate. Now, what? He didn't. He can't. No, he could. He just didn't want to activate it. Sure. Okay. Let's activate the Barrier. Barrier is going to be grabbing a Saphira. Yes, and then he'll shuffle Saphira back, thinking that we need it in the graveyard. When we don't. We do not. So this works out. Okay. Grab Saphira. We can't send Lo to the graveyard. She triggers to Reborn back in the field, but he's got 2 graveyard spinners in the grave. He's got the Mudora and the Keldo. Yep. That does not negate my Saphira. Okay, sure. If he doesn't return the pre-prep, which he will not, I don't think he would, I get to summon Sarvis from my hand. So that would be quite ideal for me. Thank you. And then as long as we take out the Kick Cow by battle, Kaleido by battle, to leave up the Dugaris. Yup. All right. This is working out. Turn back Heartbeat. He only returned 2 cards back instead of 3. Is he low on time? You get 20 more seconds at the start of every turn. Let's send and let's add our Skull Guardian. Now we still got a Pot of Pee. We still have the Pot of Pee. I could use the Blessing and try to return back, and then maybe he'll try to... I mean, he should spin this, right? Because he thinks that I need it, because I don't have Saphira. And if he thinks I need it, I can get Low into the graveyard. Yup, got him. Oh my gosh, he should have waited on the resolution of Saphira. What a fool. Oh my gosh. Okay, sure. Now I don't have to send Sarvis to the graveyard. Works out. And he kept pre-prepping the grave. So let's get activated. Prayers of the Voiceless. We have another one. Still got a Pot of Pee. We're going to send the Low. It has not triggered this turn yet. And let's freaking do it. Sarvis will protect us from the Suliak. This works out wonderfully. Could Chainlink block the Skull Guardian from something like an Ash Blossom. We're going to return back the Ritual spell. Suliak is going to be easy negate. I don't think so, mate. Negate. All right. Got him. Come for it. Whoa! How did we win that? Wow. Unbelievable. Wow. I mean, we're doing pretty well. Continually going second. I don't know what the heck is going on with these players. Got our 5-win streak. Sure. All right. Top 50. Can I go first? Have I gone first? I think I keep going second. What's going on? Bonfire Mate. Okay. Ugh. Got Imperm. Gotta hide the Imperm. Huh? What? Set pass. Let's see if he eats the pre-prep. Eat it. Ash it. No. No Ash. No Max C. What the heck is going on? Dude's gotta have Imperm. Definitely has Imperm. Right? You got to have at least Imperm. Got Sarvis to negate that Imperm. Got Valor or Imperm, sure. That's a negate. And if he double Imperms the Low, Valor and Imperm, then we're sitting pretty. Ooh, fingering the Sarvis. Okay. My Low is now negated. You got me. Now, The low is negated from also being part of our full ritual material. So I'll walk you through what we're gonna do as I'm doing it. So grabbing a Saphir here would be a huge mistake since she's not activatable. You have to send a ritual spell from the deck to the graveyard. We only play 2 copies. So we're gonna be grabbing the ritual monster directly. And you'll see that the prayers is not activatable. No good. So what do? We have to link off the low into, we'll go Link Rebo, sure. Then Blessing at her back, and then we'll summon her back in the fields, and we'll be good. So the Skull Guardian will be using her from the hand as the full ritual requirements. Perfect. Wonderful. Eat up a Called By and a Veiler from that. Let's freaking go. Oh my Jesus. Let's do it. Wow, wow, wow. 1610? Wow. All right. What's the rankings here? What's the rankings? 1800. Oh my gosh. Wow, wow, wow. Let's keep on going. That's like the top 1%. Going in, going in. Oh boy. Got a top 50. Finally going first. It's got a good hand. So many starters. Any way to ritual summon the Skull Guardian, the Diviners, the Lows. All right. We got plays. We got plays. Now we shock on the Diviner, then it gets negated. We cry. Not really. We could then Saphira still ritual, Shokan play. Let's do this. Will Saphira grab a Sarvis? Check for Ash also. No Ash. What is going on? Everyone left their Ash at home. Huh? I don't get it. What is going on? Diviner. Imperm. Veiler. There you go. Whoa, Impulse. Summon a Rescue Ace from the deck. Uh-huh. That's fine. So because we have Diviner and a low in the hand, we could end the field with at least a Masquerena, or we could Little Knight him. Fire Attacker will draw 2, discard a card. So what I could do instead is I could send Entis to just destroy the Fire Attacker so he does not get to draw 2, then discard when we decide to add. That would be the play. The play. That's the play we're doing. There we go. Sure. Now, unfortunately, the Entis is level 4, not level 5. Fire Engine, that is okay. Because now the Diviner is only level 6 instead of 7, so I can't use it for the full ritual cost. We'll use the low. Fire Engine, if a monster special summon, he could summon a monster from the hand, deck, or graveyard. Level 4 or lower only is what he could summon. We're going to send the low. Yep, use it for the full cost. Or I could, if I use the Diviner also, there's no real reason to, because it will just summon a low from the deck. But maybe I should actually do that. Getting 2 lows in a circulation could be a really good idea. Yeah. So, yeah, low from the deck, getting low. The low set up. Okay, yeah. Do not use the effect. And Diviner. So think of it as replacing the Diviner with a level 7 on the field instead. Because we're gonna have 2 lows in the field. So we want to Chainlink block a search, Chainlink block a summon from the deck. So Ash effect, into you could use a Ghost Spell, but Ghost Spell is not really used. Ghost Spell is incredibly rare. Fire Engine is going to be into an Airlifter. Airlifter, we're going to negate with our Skull Guardian. Yep, definitely. But we're not afraid of hand traps. Any other ones? If he Nibiru's us, then that would be something. I will at least have a barrier. Wait, Impulse and not? Okay, so we're not even at risk of having to use our negates. Sure. So double low in the field. And we'll search our deck for a Sarvis that we can't summon. can't summon the Sarvis. Is it worth grabbing? I could instead grab a Saphira follow-up. Follow-up Saphira play. Sure. Let's trigger just one of the lows, not both, and we'll grab our barrier. With our barrier, we are going to be setting up either a Blessing or a Radiance. A Radiance would, in fact, be able to get the Sarvis onto the field, but with Blessing instead, I think it will possibly be better. We could special summon the Sarvis from our hand anyway, and then use low, reborn low, set up the Radiance. Could pop 2 cards on the field with our Radiance. Could pretty much do that anyway. But with this, I think we're actually gonna grab the Radiance. We'll grab Radiance. Okay, sure. Actually, I completely did not think about that correctly. Let me tell you what we're supposed to do. This states that you choose an effect monster, so it goes to the non-targeting. So we're gonna have to go into a potential play here. I think, do we have to negate that? I think we might have to imperm it. We activate the Skull Guardian, he could try to jump off the field, which he successfully will do. So that is quite annoying. If I link Karibo, and then I could summon a Radiance from the deck, the thing from the deck, and then I could trigger the low to come back from the graveyard if he activates anything, which he will activate something. So I think we can, in fact, get our Little Knight out. So we're going to get rid of the low. So we're going to be in a window where the Skull Guardian is vulnerable. But I want to speed up my plays a little bit so I could tell you a bit more what I'm thinking. Okay, this is fine. This works out. Let's Little Knight, get rid of the Impulse so it does not turn off our Skull Guardian or force the negates. Get rid of you there. Sure. And let's set this up, and I'm going to talk about what we should have done. For some reason, I was incorrectly thinking the Radiance would have been played face up. Grabbing the Blessing instead would have been better. And then we would now have a Blessing in the field, but we would have to be slower on the Radiance activation because we'd have to trigger the low to come forth in order to get good. But actually making that play maybe was not correct. So here's our first opportunity to use the Radiance right now. Because if I were to do the play I said with Blessing, then I would not have been able to summon a Little Knight. So let's return back. Let's get back onto the field. Let's go. The Fire Engine will trigger summoning another Impulse potentially, unless we want to imperm the Fire Engine. So we're going to return the Prayers back, and we're going to summon from the deck Sarvis. Sarvis is here. Yup. And then we're going to trigger the low if he activates anything. If he triggers the Fire Engine, we'll Sarvis summon from the deck. And the Impulse will actually not affect us. I could Little Knight Chain Banish right now, or we go for Sarvis. We're going to leave up the Little Knight. Leave the Little Knight up. Poplar trigger. Let's chain Little Knight, banish the Fire Engine. 1, 2, get that off the field. We had to be the direct chain to the activation of the card itself for the Sarvis and the Little Knight to both activate. Now, do I summon from the deck a second Skull Guardian to play around the Impulse? Does he play a third copy of Impulse? Probably does. So if I go for a second copy of the Skull Guardian, we don't have to worry about the Impulse turning us off. All right, we're good. All right. So the Blessing would have triggered, there you go, the Impulse is here. Let's trigger our low. And with the low, we're gonna grab a Blessing. So we could still pull off Blessing, even though we didn't go straight for Blessing previously. Not gonna imperm the Poplar. We have to, since we're going second, we have to save imperm for something like an Access Code Talker. It's gotta be super last resort. Blessing. Sarvis could also negate the summon of something like an Access Code Talker. So let's bring up Rescue Ace. Rescue Ace. Let's set up the Blessing. Yup. Access Code Talker. Negating a Promethean Princess. Potentially. If you negate the summon of Promethean Princess, she is now illegally summoned, but she does get banished on the negate anyway. But if she were to go to the graveyard, she would not be summonable through her own effect. So negating a Promethean is actually a really good idea with the Sarvis. So what are you doing? I'm going to just... Let's do it. We got to keep double Skull Guardians on the field. And we already triggered the low. So we have to use from the hand. We're going to use the Sarvis Dragon. And we're good. Ooh, okay. I think my brain's been all over the place because I've been still thinking about if we grabbed the Blessing early and previously. I think grabbing the Radiance was actually okay. It was definitely okay. So I stand by, I don't think we made any mistakes. Even though I've been sounding a bit scatterbrained. We're going to just allow that, sure. So we have a negate anything plus an impermanence, negate a monster on the field. That's untargetable from the impermanence. But I could Skull Guardian negates. I could Skull Guardian negate. If I Skull Guardian negate, destroy, he searches for one last card. He could already have a Turbulence in the hand. If not, he may be searching for a Preventer. So this would be for a value negate. This, if I didn't have impermanence, I probably would not negate this. We have triple disruption. We also negate a summon. I think I'm going to, in fact, negate this. He also has a normal summon. I think this gives him way too many options. Impulse jump, summon for the deck. Sure. He never activated the first effect of the impulse, right? He didn't. Choose one monster your opponent controls. So it does not work. By the way, it still works. The barrier does not work against it. Barrier does not stop you from being targeted. It does not target. It still chooses. So if we were to imperm the Turbulence here, we may just win the duel because we have a Sarvis to negate any problematic Link summon anyway. And we have such a big field. Oh, he's activating the other effect of popping a card in the field. And if we lose out on the targeting protection, that might be a problem. By imperm, he's going to have to summon a second copy of Turbulence in the hand to activate to set cards onto the field. But without Hydrant, he can't activate those cards the turn they're set. So I do think imperming is fine here. We are fine, especially since we're not letting Promethean Princess reborn Turbulence, because Sarvis is going to negate the Promethean Princess. All right. You got something. What you got, mate? Emergency is a huge outplay here. Definitely a massive outplay. Yep. It definitely was a possibility. It gets it off the field from being able to set up 4 back row cards. So it's still really good that we got rid of it. The problem is we do not have a barrier on the field now. So we are fully targetable. He could rescue it back on the field. Sure, he can commit to that. So even if he sets 4, he still doesn't have Hydrant to activate any of the cards. So we just have to make sure we are efficiently burning through resources. Efficiently burning. I actually do have to negate and banish that. I definitely do. Because otherwise it's going to banish us. It can now target. So that's fine. Sarvis will now protect us from being targeted. Okay. We could Link Karibo the low into the graveyard. If he wanted to attack into the low, which we could do at the start of the battle phase. You don't have to do it within the main phase. Rescue back on the field. Turbulence set up 4. I don't think he can win this. Okay. Sure, Turbulence. Turb it up, turb it up, turb it up. It's got to be quick with the toggle offs here. Toggle on, actually. Okay, toggle off. I'm waiting for the start of the battle phase to summon the Link Karibo. So we have to wait for the resolution. Otherwise, he would take out low for free. I mean, it's not really a big deal to get that Link Karibo out, since the low's going to die anyway. Sure, sure. Battle. Preventer. We have Sarvis to negate being targeted. He wants to flip us face down. So Link Kuribo, still be a good idea. Sure. I think we let him flip. Let him flip. It's not a problem if he flips. Not a problem. We have to negate a Promethean Princess if he's going for the Zealantis line. Yeah, you have to negate Promethean. So Sarvis is for Promethean. If your opponent would target a monster control, it's fine. Get rid of the low. Nope. Do not summon Link Kuribo there. That would be a huge mistake because we'll take battle damage for free. Okay, this is fine. Take it out. Take it out. I'm going to keep Sarvis for next turn. Yep. This is correct. This is 100% correct. We are correct. We are good. We are great. Saphira could add it back. If it could summon a ritual, it will trigger low to come back onto the field. I could normal summon low with our blessing. Could grab it back. Turn 4, draw 1. Skull Guardian, if he destroys it with Extinguish, I have to Sarvis negate Extinguish and nothing else. Negate Extinguish and nothing else. Return 4, draw 1. Sure. Let's get to it. We got this. We got this. 100% we got this. Come on. We also do not have prayer in the graveyard. I could Saphira as the first thing we do to get prayer in the graveyard to force him to have to make some plays. Come on, mate. How are you not low on time? I'm low on time. Did I really take that long? This dude took way less time than I did. Oh. Hida Promethean. Main phase 2, though. Okay. Do I even have an Ash in the graveyard? I do not. So, no free summon for you for Hida. That's good. Impulse. Promethean. Reborn. Yup. Little Knight number 2. The second Little Knight. Getting rid of Blessing's actually going to be a problem. Blessing's our main way to recycling, and if it's banished, we have no way to get it back. Oh my gosh. Our own Little Knight's come back. Little Knight and the Fire Engine. Sure, Pot of P to dig for a Super Poly would be the way. We can Saphira get a prayer in the graveyard. We could Radiance get a low onto the field. Prayer in the grave. Sarvis Dragon would be the way to recycle them back on the deck if we needed to, but it's in the grave. We don't have the blessing to return back to the hand. We have Lil Knight to stop the opposing Lil Knight. Is he thinking about Extinguish Little Knight? Okay. I'm going to very simply stop your Little Knight with my Little Knight. So now it does not banish our Skull Guardian. It's going to stay on the field. Maybe he thought I'd use my Sarvis? That'd be wild, wouldn't it? Why the heck would I Sarvis that? It was worth a shot. Add from the grave, come back. All right, good, great. From the graveyard, we have Saphira to perform a Ritual Shokan. I could use Radiance to return cards back to summon our low into the field. Radiance. Get returning. Max freaking C. How many cards left in his deck? 28. Definitely not a deck out situation. Such a bad time for us to be dealing with. We're going to return back the prayer, even though it would be potentially triggerable to help us out. Get the low. We now have a monster or anything negate. We have the Sarvis negate Extinguish. Fire Engine we do not negate. That'd be bad. Do not negate. Gonna grab Barrier. With the Barrier, we are going to just have that up to make us untargetable. So this is resolving. That's it. We're untargetable as soon as this resolves. Right away. Unfreaking targetable. Can't target. With all your card effects in the back row, it's no good. All right. Sure, sure. Pot of P for Super Poly. Let's activate this. No Ash. Sure. We'll grab another Saphira. We can summon the other Skull Guardian by sending the Sarvis. Get Pot of P. Let's get digging. 6 cards. We're going to not need you, and the Masquerina. We don't need you, and the Underworld Goddess I could get rid of. Super Poly. There it is. There it is. There's the Super Poly. Grab that Super. And we're going to be using it later. Not now. We have protected. We're good. I think I do want to clear his field, though. So we're going to get clearing. We are going to summon Skull Guardian. We got to send the Sarvis. Keep the low on the field to be untargetable. We have low in the graveyard to trigger to summon onto the field from the grave, but we don't want to do that under max C. We're going to battle, wipe out his fields. Let's go, let's go. We're good, we're calm. We have Radiance to wipe out his field spell, potentially. We do have a negate. If there's something worth negating, like a rescue, I think I would negate. Reinforce. I'm going to negate that. You keep the rescue. Sure. Negate, destroy, take out the fire engine. Set this up. Gain some time during his turn. Come back. Okay. What is this? That Sarvis was a fake Sarvis. Sure, sure. Okay. He can only target our Lil Knight with his card effects. We have Super Poly. We have Negate. We have Pop 1 card in the field. I think I would negate and destroy the Rescue Ace HQ. We do not want that recycling. That is definitely a problem. Additional summon. Sure. Impulse turns us off. Impulse. So if I pretty much have to negate this. It's such a wasted negate. And he could jump off the field. Yup. There you go. Impulse to beat Skull Guardian. But we're not beat. I'm gonna have to Radiance pop the Rescue Ace HQ though. Turbulence has to be fused with our Super Poly. Needs to get another body on the field. 32 seconds. How do we deal with the impulse? There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Use it up. Use it up. We're gonna summon. This is Machine, so that's a Garura. Okay. Oh my. Oh my Jesus. Destroy the Rescue Ace HQ. Alert add from the graveyard. Okay. Turbulence. Banish to summon Turbulence. Okay, sure, sure. Our monster cannot be attacked into. Doesn't have anything good to use with the Turbulence. 3,500. Radiance take out in the main phase. Who you swinging into? Skull Guardian. It is the battle phase. Yup. Yeah, what are you doing? No. No, I don't think so. Extinguish my Garura. Sure. Yeah. Yep. Draw a card. Okay, Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh, eating up our time. I have to pop that. Absolutely have to get rid of that. He can't be recycling after getting rid of our recycling. We have to. Got to wipe it out. 100%. Okay. Let's toggle off now. Get ready for Lil Knight if he Lil Knights. Taking that out is quite annoying. So we're now targetable. We are now targetable. Set cards from the deck. Sure. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Time limit win. Oh my Jesus. I have to rewatch this replay and because we're pretty much at the end of the video. I got to see if we did anything incorrect. Did we do anything? Ooh, top 5%. Top 5%. Top 5% global. Wow. Let's freaking go. Unbelievable. We had an undefeated at the highest rank. This was before, right? We didn't lose, right? Did we lose? Wait, did we win, then we lost? I think we lost and we kept on winning. Unbelievable. Let's reflect on this. Let's reflect. Because otherwise I'll be thinking about it for days. Wow. That was wonderful. And we're going to talk about the deck list. Oh my Jesus. Okay. So standard stuff here. Saphira grab a Sarvis in case he wants to negate the Diviner. That makes sense. This is when it gets wild. He's got fire attackers, so we definitely want to wipe that out so he doesn't draw 2. That makes sense. Then he has a fire engine also. Like, this is just an absurd turn 1 against us. Turn 0 for him. We want to get summoning, send Diviner to get double lows on the field. Made sense. Yes. Sure. Summon for the deck, another impulse so he could turn off our Skull Guardian. I mean, this dude has been playing against Voiceless. That's what this tells me because he was ready for this matchup. Not going Airlifter, going into impulse to ensure that he could negate. My timer's being called. Get out of your timer. So he knew it. He knew what he was doing. All right, so we grabbed a Saphira because the Sarvis Dragon would not be good. We don't have another spell to summon it. Set up the barrier. This is where, if we could have grabbed a Blessing instead. I grabbed Blessing. I do have to wait for him to do something after we summon our Sarvis. So we'd have to, so that Blessing. So normal summon, he has to summon a monster, not activate. So he'd activate Impulse, turning off the Skull Guardian, and then there's nothing we could do. We're just sitting there, waiting for him to summon to trigger the Blessing. Instead, we grabbed a Radiance, which is a more definitive, quicker way to get into another Skull Guardian to get negating. So I think reflecting, I'm not coping on this. I think that grabbing the Radiance, because there's an impulse there, that is correct. Where the Blessing, we would have to trigger the low and come back. And we also went into a Lil Knight. So if we have a Blessing right here, I can't Lil Knight. How am I gonna Lil Knight? Because I would have to, when I trigger the Blessing to ritual summon the Sarvis, the Queen's level 6. I cannot. I mean, I wish her feat was level 7, but she ain't. So I would have to tribute our Skull Guardian for Sarvis to reborn the low. That's not a good idea. I don't think so. So the Radiance allows us to make this Lil Knight play, get rid of that impulse, which turns off our Skull Guardian. Okay, good. Let's see. Did we screw up here? So the Radiance, so we need to get the low back on the field. So this is only activatable in the main phase, and this is only activatable if they activate a card. So it's got to be pretty much the first thing they do. We want to trigger it. We want to use it. Not a trigger, but it's a quick effect chain directly to the card activating. Lil Knight, get this off the field here. If we would have waited for something like, let's say, a Hydrant. He summons a Hydrant. The Hydrant's now untargetable. So getting this off the field early to stop the Hydrant from being untargetable allows our impermanence to negate something like Hydrant if that's what we would want to do. So for that reason, I think getting this off the field now is a good idea. And then we're now going to be summoning from the deck our Skull Guardian, keep the Sarvis in the hand. So I guess a option here was to summon Sarvis instead. knowing that he's summoning multiple impulses onto the field, getting double Skull Guardian is maybe the better play because of impulse. Otherwise, the Sarvis being summoned from the hand would be good for stopping Link summons. Now, when they summon the Turbulence in the hand, that could not be negated by Sarvis. That's an effective special summon that starts a chain link that doesn't start a summon on the resolution of the end of the chain. Hopefully that did not confuse you, because that's what the Goaties do, and the Sarvis can negate Goaty summons. So Poplar, Prayer, sure, Trigger, this is it. This turned us on. We now have our negate and our fields untargetable. Sure, Low then set up the blessing, so we had that anyway to get the Sarvis out on the field. So double Skull Guardian played around the impulse perfectly. I want to bet this dude has beaten every other voiceless player with this continual impulse control. We're untargetable and it still turns off a Skull Guardian. That's just incredible that he's able to do that. And then let's speed this up. He summons the Hydrants. So the question was, should I have negated the Hydrants? I guess I think I gave good reasoning that he had many other options to go into, where he could search for an airlifter, he could search for a preventer, he could search for a turbulence, and even if he has 2 out of 3, he's still searching for a third card with that hydrant. Now, things got really messed up with the turbulence on field. This is where he jumped off with an emergency, and we were thinking, I need an impulse, I need to use the impermanence, right? Had I not used impermanence as he's threatening our barrier, that's the big problem, the big problem. So I guess the bigger issue we should have read better was when there's an impulse on the field and they're activating a hydrant and we're activating an effect to destroy it, they're gonna jump off into a turbulence to trigger the effect to pop. So it wasn't even about what he's searching for, it's the fact that the Skull Guardian, and only the Skull Guardian, is turning on the turbulence summon from the deck to pop a card in the field, and I guess for that reason, I should have not done so. But he could just sit on the field with the impulse. So impulse is locking down the Skull Guardian in 2 different ways. That's so incredible. It could turn off my Skull Guardian if I only had 1. Otherwise, it's waiting for me to activate Skull Guardian so that he could summon a Turbulence from the deck and to then trigger off of Skull Guardian destroying something to then pop off my barrier. So Impulse just counters, it's pretty much a board breaker. It's a built-in board breaker against Voiceless Voice in a way that I did not think about before. I knew how good it was against Purely, but against Voiceless, this has got to be maybe a TCG player that's played this matchup multiple times. That's what I'm thinking. And this was this is where I thought I was actually going to lose. Chaining Emergency to the Impermanence. I feel like I had to Imperm here. Does anyone think that Imperm here was a mistake? So I think it all went down to negating the Hydrant, turning on the Impulse to then force out, taking out our barrier, and with the Emergency to then protect the Turbulence from any other forms of disruption. I don't think there's much we could have done besides just wait and see what he would do at the impulse in the field and just never negate with the Skull Guardian, I guess. So, all right, yeah, that's pretty much the end for that. Let's hop into the deck list. So I guess I was overall happy with the duel more so after rewatching it. So let's see this deck list that we did the whole climb with. Holy moly. So right away, I think Super Poly is, let me turn off the background music. Super Poly, I think, is a card that everyone should play if you have room in your extra deck. And most decks do not have room, and you should not force it. Do not force room for Super Poly, but if you have room, a deck like Voiceless Voice, you're playing a stun deck, something that does not use the extra deck, I think Super Poly is an incredible board breaker, especially in the mirror match. I think you're going to win the mirror match if you Super Poly up their Skull Guardian and Low. Now, that will trigger the Prayer to summon another Skull Guardian from the deck, and then the Low will also reborn back. But if you're going first and you set Super Poly, they're screwed. You're going to use your Skull Guardian to negate their Prayer. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then you have the Yubel, Loving Defender, fuse with their entire field plus a Yubel monster. And then you have the Earth Golem, a Cyberse monster plus a Link monster. So if we look at the popularity of a Cyberse plus a Link, let's look at just Link monsters overall. So let's type in, or sort by popularity, let's type in Link. And we could see here that Masquerade is a Cyberse, Apollo is a Link. So is Little Knight, a Link. So these are all Little Knight, Apollo, plus a Masquerena, or another Cyberse monster that would be on the field. But most it's going to be Masquerena plus another Link monster on the field. So it could be Masquerena plus a Sprite Elf. And that would be a good form of getting rid of that. So that's good there. The Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre, if we look at popular cards, what is this going to be good for? If the Little Knight is targeting itself, plus another card, you could Ghost Ogre it, and then it will not banish your other card. That is pretty good. You could Ghost Ogre a Masquerena activating, will stop the Link. You could Ghost Ogre an Apollo trying to negate. If she was not made with Masquerena, which Ubel is not making it with Masquerena, it will completely turn her off. She's not going to be negating and she's destroyed. And you also have the Soul of Rage being a card. If they activate the Link off with you, you could pop it. And then, of course, just the other Ubel cards, which makes Ghost Ogre good. You could stop the Spirit Gates. You could stop the Nightmare Pain. Remember, it has to be already face up when it activates. So if you activate Throne from the hand, you cannot Ogre its activation. The Ogre is not that good. But also, if they summon something like a Hida has to summon to where she's pointing to. You could Ghost Ogre this. I'm not trying to sell you on Ogre, but these are just the reasons I decided to test out Ogre, and I think I was pretty happy with the results. If you used Effect Veiler instead, Veiler is level 1. There was some circumstance outside of the duels you saw in this video where I was able to use the Ogres since it's level 3 and light, so you could use it for your Prayer of the Voiceless as part of a ritual summon more easily. And a downside of this is it's a hard once per turn. The Effect Veiler could be used more than once per turn if you have multiple copies. So that is definitely something. So I'm not telling you to craft this, though. It's ultra rare. Veiler is cheaper, right? Veiler is a super rare. Oh, crap. It's also ultra rare, but you probably already have this crafted. Now, what else is good here? This is, so a lot of people are asking, why are you not playing a second Sarvis? Why are you not playing the Pendulum? My thought process with this deck is if I'm playing in the TCG and I'm side decking game 2 and 3, you know what you do? You cut the fat. And a second copy of Sarvis, I think, is fat. If I'm going game 2 and 3 into that side deck and I have to cut cards from my main deck to make room for really good cards, I think I'd be cutting it every single time because it's not needed. Is it a good thing to have? Does it help you play through more hand traps? It's definitely very good. It's great. But I prefer to have room for another Super Poly. Making sure I have 15 hand traps, 3 Maxi, 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Imperm, 3 Super Poly. And I think you saw from the replays, we had a really good turn 2 for some reason. And I think playing so many hand traps and board breakers, someone may be thinking, oh, you only did well going second because you kept drawing your hand traps and board breakers. Yeah, I play 15 of them, and I'm not playing, other nonsense to reduce those chances of drawing that. You're staring down a full field and you have a Sarvis in your hand going second. What's that really going to do? I'd rather have a Super Poly. I'd rather have potentially disrupted their board build with the impermanence, which could completely stop them in their tracks potentially. I do like a third copy of pre-preparation. I do think a lot of people are playing just 2, but I think getting started is very important. Just consistently disrupt a board break and hand trap and consistently get started. And what's really good about this deck is also it plays quite well against Maxi. We could easily set up a disruption under Maxi under minimal special summoning. And there's something you didn't see in the replays, but for example, let's say they Maxi you. You are going to use your Divine, and you have a Diviner. You Diviner, send a Trias in the deck, and you may be thinking, oh my gosh, that's a bunch of special summoning. Trias is summon number 1 under Maxi, then Low summons the deck, that's summon number 2, and then summon your Skull Guardian, that's summon number 3. Well, you could just pass. The Diviner can pass with the Trias in the graveyard if your hand's good enough. I had a duel where I did that, and then the Trias during their turn tributed Diviner, summoned a Low from the deck, Low triggered on their turn, setting up into our back row something like a Radiance. If you're really down low and you have the Radiance activatable because you have another Ritual Monster in your hand or engrave a Ritual spell to return back to activate it, you could then summon your Sarvis, which goes into a Skull Guardian. So that could be a really good play against Maxi. Minimally special summoning or not special summoning at all, and still having a way to disrupt your opponent is what's really good about this deck. I think this deck is criminally underrated. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, DK, I want to play this. It's just so damn expensive. Are you telling me to build this right here, right now? No, I'm not. I'm not telling you that. Please, I think that in order for you to invest in something that you are not going to invest in because it's really expensive, you should wait for tournament performance overall. Not any YouTube video, nothing, unless you really like the play style of my video. I mean, we played raw straight. You saw the duels. So if voiceless is consistently sitting at tier 2 or better, I would then confidently say it is a good investment for you. Am I regretting my investment in this? Definitely not. I love this deck. I think it's a great deck. At least I feel when I'm playing it, it is an incredibly powerful and versatile deck. Does well against Max C, could fit in a ton of disruption, has a bunch of one-card combos. It's everything I want in a deck. And then it also has the targeting protection, which is really good. So that is just absolutely great. And I'm going to be done rambling right now. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, oh my gosh, top 5% global. Let's freaking go. We out.